Yo! Welcome to another silent review with your boy. That's me, Mr. C. And today we're going to be putting on our Mr. C disguises and assassinating Hitman 3 in the official review.
Gaming with Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C.
As any agent knows, you're going to take off your coat before you assassinate somebody so your coat doesn't get dirty. And as any reviewer knows, you got to start off with that story. So let's get right into it, guys. Alright guys, so the story, it takes place the same story arc as the last two Hitmen, and the fact that it follows a genetically modified Agent 47 as he teams up with his buddy to take on the partners of the Providence, and luckily the budget restrictions of I.O. leaving Square Enix is gone, and we get to thankfully return back to some actual cutscenes, which actually just kind of add a subtle touch to the overall story. So well done, I.O., well done. Alright guys, on to the graphics. One thing about Hitman, it has always challenged games graphically, and this game is no different. I played it on the Xbox Series X and the OLED LG C10, and this game is absolutely gorgeous. The character models are well detailed, and so are the environments. One of my favorite missions is this British manor, and the details are just so subtle, they just really bring the world to life. I'm talking about oil paintings, vases, vases, little electrical outlets at the bottom, to even your reflection in the mirror. It is just incredible that the lengths that these little details make and actually kind of convincing you're actually in this environment. There's another issue, or there's another area where you're outside and it's raining and there's these neon signs, and the way that the neon glistens off of the water and your suit and the streets, it's just a breathtaking game. It's one of the best looking games I've ever played. If I had to find, and I had to find, a problem with the game, is the non-target NPCs can be a little bland. You'll kind of see the same ones or the same character models with just slight variations, different hair color, different colored shirt, but that's if I'm nitpicking. The graphics, otherwise, are just going to stun you. So guys, while we're on the graphics, let's go ahead and talk sound. And sound is actually very important in this game, as it is a way for you to overhear conversations as far as like loopholes and security, or kind of what's going to be happening in this world. And again, I.O. nails this, as you can hear conversations sometimes pertaining to your mission and sometimes not. Alright guys, on to gameplay. So not a lot has changed on the gameplay front from the last two Hitmen, and that's actually a great thing. The story is going to be told over 6 missions, where you can actually change your loadout and your game plan based off of the intel you receive prior to the mission and the actual floor plan of the level. Alright guys, so what is Hitman at its whole? What are you actually going to be doing? The whole goal is to actually eliminate your target through manipulation, disguises, or loopholes in the security. One of my favorite things about Hitman is all the different ways that you can actually assassinate your target. One of my least favorite things about Hitman is the overwhelming feeling you get when you first start a mission. Luckily for us, I.O. thought about this and decided to kill that thought on arrival. By doing so, what they have done is they have added these story missions throughout the game that kind of say, hey, you see this guy? You can actually take him over, and they kind of walk you through these different things that you could do throughout the level, showing you the entire level, and actually being able to assassinate these people in some really cool ways, which leaves you, the gamer, to be able to play through it a second or a third way. Why would you want to, you're asking? And that's the genius of Hitman. Because there's so many different ways to do it, it's actually fun. When you're playing through it your first time, you're like, man, next time I'm going to climb up this gutter, and I'm going to slide over here. I'm going to change into the maid. And you actually want to do it. It doesn't feel like a collectathon. And on top of that, I.O. had the foresight to say, hey, you can master these levels, and they give you new loadouts and new weapons and new places and new disguises. So each time feels different, fresh, and unique. And it is by far the charm of Hitman. So one of the other new things that I liked about this Hitman over the previous ones is in the second one, I feel like the stages got too large and in scope. For instance, I always think about the race car track and how you had the stadium, you had the stands, you had the party, you had the garage, you had the facility. There's just so much. It was so hard to memorize or learn everybody's unique movements. Well, in this one, they kind of toned it down without actually sacrificing the vibe that you're actually in these places, which I think is a killer move by I.O. One of the other things that I really liked about this is in some of the missions, they actually changed it up a bit. My favorite mission by far in any of the Hitmans is the second level of this game, where you're in the manor and you actually play as a detective, so you're allowed to be there. You don't always have somebody going, huh? 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 What's that? Sir, back up. You can't be here. Nah, man. You get to take off the hat and you just get to be yourself for once. And that is amazing. And another level, you're on a train and it's just straight back and forth. There's no left and right. And in the third mission, they actually completely do away with the story part, and you got to actually just assassinate these people. There's 10 of them, and you get to pick which 5 to assassinate. So the way that they are always growing with this series, it breaks my heart to think that this might be the last one. So guys, for my final thought of Hitman 3, I gotta say guys, from the moment I turned this game on till the moment I turned it off, I absolutely was in love with it. As soon as I started getting bored, they threw something new at me. The visuals are next gen by far. The story was amazing and the gameplay was tight and top notch. If I had to complain about something, tweak that gunplay a little bit. But here, guess what guys? It doesn't matter because I didn't really go for the run and gun. I was trying to outsmart my opponent. For that, and for those reasons, you must buy Hitman 3. It is easily a 9.5.
Gaming with Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C.